Quick shot of it oiled up and brings out the wood grain. I just used mineral oil on it. Turned out pretty good. And for their first attempt, it could have been a chewed up mess, but it isn't. Turned out nice. The wood's kind of nice, the laminated wood effect. Have a great one. Have fun with your CNC. Create something new. This is where we carve the letters in. You remember I left you off on the last video. We were looking at carving that out, the rough carve and finish carve, and now it's doing the letters. That's the letter F that it's carving for friels. And as you can see, it took off like crazy. That's because I sped it up so that you could see it a little faster. I might reduce that clip even more so that it goes even faster, but I thought we'd get past the first letter and then we could speed it up from there. It took about 20 minutes, I think 27 minutes, something like that, to carve it, but they're large letters and it's carved deep. I'll have to test that on a pie and bake it and see what it is. I thought in the future maybe I'd carve letters on it like apple, cherry, pumpkin, all that stuff. Pumpkin obviously wouldn't work because it doesn't have crust on the top, but blueberry does and a few other things. That way you could identify the pie without, if it doesn't bleed through the crust, so you know what your pie is. Of course, you'd have to have a roller for each one of those, which would be good for me because I could sell more rollers, but that's life. We'll see. Well, if I enjoy this enough, I'll put it on Etsy and we'll go from there. But that's how you can make a lathe. You can see the lathe that I made, and you can see the products that it's capable of doing. It's the next part of this video looks at sanding. That's the next section. Now that the letters are done, what do? How do I sand this and use the lathe effectively to sand them? Okay, how do you sand this? You can take sandpaper and you can rub it over this without moving this. Or you can simply go to your axis, your A axis, which you can do in your cheese panel, of course. Go around there, you can see it right there. See A axis? I'm going to tell it to go 5,000 turns, 5,000 degrees. Now keep in mind it's a continuous wraparound axis, so it will move there, and my speed is fast. Oop, I aborted it, sorry. This is something wrong with this. See it over there, moving, nice and slow. Let's abort that. See over here my speed set, it was slow. I want that at fast. See it? Now I'm going to go here, 5,000, 6,000. How's that? Move. And what it will do is it will continually spin till it gets to 6,000. And it's not wrapping around anything, so then you just take your sander, put it on there, and let it spin. Or you can take sandpaper and hold it, and it works pretty good. That's how I sand it when it's on the lathe. Okay? And you can change that to a faster speed if you want to. And see, it's almost at 6,000. Say, well, that wasn't enough time. Okay, so we'll go to 156,000. How's that? On the minus. Okay, move. Now we'll spin the other way. How many times? A bunch. Okay, that's how you sand. Alright, have a good day. Have fun with your CNC.